sure you care so much about yourself and how long you want to live. So as you can see from the caption, today we are talking everything organic. I know this might not be everyone's favorite topic, but I'll try to make it as interesting as possible. I'll try to put in some practical stories, personal stories like that, so that you guys can get along with me as we move in this video. So welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Get to Know Zambia with K. So let's get right into it. So what's organic farming? What's organic food? So organic food is, or organic farming is just practically producing food without using synthetic fertilizers or pesticides or any artificial additives which enhance or modify the natural and normal growing of like crops. Yeah, just pardon me, my voice is not as it's supposed to be because I have a bit of a cold, but I have to do this anyways. So let's just continue. With regards to Africa and also with regards to Zambia specifically, because I can't speak for the whole continent. I haven't been to anywhere else apart from Zambia. Yes, Africa being one of the continent with the most fertile land has always practiced natural ways of actually planting crops. We've always practiced traditional ways of planting, of growing crops, and these are things which we are actually taught like in school. I don't know if some of you people could remember, like they'll teach you traditional ways of farming, this and this and this. So these ways are not just significant due to like a lot of health benefits, but they also hold a cultural and environmental significance to the land and to its different practices. So has there been a shift in our ways of planting, of growing crops right now? Definitely there has been a shift, but I'm also seeing people actually going back to the more organic ways of planting, because that's how it is. Natural things are just natural. Most of the times when you try to like move way too synthetic, you still come back because you are going to have like a lot of negative impacts which are going to come along with the more synthetic ways of like doing things. Synthetic things have like their benefits, but in most cases they are not like long lasting. Maybe it's kind of faster, it yields like more compared to like the natural way and stuff like that. Like there can be those benefits, but when you talk about the negatives, they can be very like devastating and everything like that. So you see people still shifting back to a more organic way of like planting. And even to us as consumers, there are a lot of health benefits to consuming like organic food, because if we demand more organic food, there is going to be like more effort put to local farmers to actually obtain food like organically. But then even as consumers, there's been like a shift, and especially like people born like in the 2000s and stuff like that, we really don't like some kind of food because we just feel like it's not good food. You get it, right? I always have someone like who laughs at me all the time. I call like these kind of like traditional food and stuff. I'm like, okay, this is not like good food and everything. Like good food is like deep fried broilers and stuff like that. Like yeah, that's kind of good food. But I'm also realizing and I'm shifting to more like organic ways of eating. You can do it! Because I'm looking at the different benefits which I'm going to highlight to you guys. So, short story. So most cities you see like people like fast foods, like a lot of fast foods, and most of them are actually not like healthy. Maybe if you take them once in a while kind of a thing, it would be a bit better, but in most times they are not like so good. So if you stay in the city, whatever city you may be in your different countries. So my city is Lusaka, and in Lusaka, one thing which you are going to see very visible is that there are a lot of malls. There are a lot of malls there. Even people who actually visit like the city, they will be like, this place has a lot of malls. So a lot of malls comes with a lot of like fast food and everything. So for us, like when you go out, you don't eat like our like traditional food, like ifsashi, what chikanda, that's like African polony, that's what it's called in English. We call it chikanda. Just like these shima and stuff like that. But then we had like some of our relatives from Zimbabwe visiting us, and then I was supposed to move them around the mall. Mind you, for me, like I feel like if you leave me in some parts of Lusaka, I would definitely get lost, because I haven't even moved around. I never used to move around a lot. I just used to like staying at home. I play with my siblings and stuff like that. So apparently they gave me the job to take them around the city and just show them some malls. So we were actually going to Levy Mall. There is this mall in Lusaka. It's a very big mall. You find a lot of shops there. So we're going to Levy Mall. And then like I was just showing them around and everything, you know. They did some grocery shopping because they like, I think by that time things in Zimbabwe were like more expensive. So whenever they come to Zambia, they would do like a lot of grocery shopping and stuff. And then when it was time to order food, just to shock me, like the menu was here. And for us, whenever you go outside, like you go to a mall and stuff, you're just gonna order those like, you know, very fancy food, like, you know, chicken, fries, pizza, what, like, yeah, shawarma, like just something different from what you eat home, you get. And then they just shocked me. They bought nshima. So them they call it sadza. In Zambia we call it nshima, but it's actually the same thing. So they bought nshima, and then they bought fish, and then they bought vegetables. Like for me, I was shocked. Okay, I can't lie, I was also embarrassed. Oh my god! I hope they won't watch this anyway. That was a long time ago though. Like, sometimes it's like we put it as like, you know, kind of embarrassing having to eat nshima in a mall. If you're a Zambian, you get me, don't judge me. Yeah, it's like, why am I even eating shima like at the mall? It's like kind of embarrassing. But for them, they were just like free spirit, and they were just eating. And I think I learned something from there. It's like they really appreciate like their food. No matter the place, they are going to eat that food. But for most parts of like Southern Africa, because I've actually talked to like another person here from like South Africa. She kind of has the same experience when it comes to like our like food, like I don't know if I should even call them our traditional food or our food, because it's not really traditional. It's our food being like eaten in those fancy places. We would just be like, no. Here, this is like for, you know, fried chicken, for pizza, like those foreign meals and stuff like that. So I actually learned something from there, and I just saw how much they actually appreciate their own cuisines, their own recipes. And for me, I was just like, why am I being embarrassed? Like, it's not even something embarrassing. I don't know. And I think this is one of the reasons why we don't have our kind of food in foreign places. Because when you talk about there was a time we were having a conversation with like a Nigerian, a South African, and a Zambian, of course. And we were just talking about like our experiences with like our food and what kind of food is usually like, you know, served on weddings and stuff. And then the Nigerian was like, oh, for us we have like all our kind of food, like egusi, fufu, everything, like every kind of like Nigerian dish you would find it like at the function you get. And then for the South African it was more of like, no, it's just like the rice, the, you know, like those foreign like foreign dishes, cuisines and stuff like that, because it's like kind of like fancy for a fancy event, your wedding, imagine. Yeah. And then even for us, mainly I haven't attended a lot of weddings, but when it comes to like functions and everything like that, like you don't really find our like type of food really, unless it's like a traditional celebration, maybe like Chilanga Mulilo or a kitchen party and stuff like that. So even when you go out of like Africa, mainly the food you will find in these like foreign countries, you would find Nigerian food, because they always eat it. I don't know why for us it's like we have that thing. Yeah, you find Nigerian food even in like foreign countries. I know you would say, okay, because like Nigerians are like, you know, almost everywhere around the world, but also because they also take this food in like prestigious or like fancy setups. And I think you would, even Ethiopians, like I think they have even like restaurants outside. Yes, most of them are outside, but I think also, I'm not so sure, but I think also they have like this kind of food for most of their functions, because it's normal. So when we actually appreciate our cuisines more, we're gonna have them more even outside our country. Imagine how difficult it is to find shima, because for Zambians, like in most Zambian homes, standardized, normally we have shima every single day. So when you go outside Zambia, at least you want to find a place where they can actually sell shima, you get, because the cultural shock you get when it comes to food can make you feel. I had to stop a bit because I'm in a class and they're usually local classes, so they were actually chasing me. They're like, oh no, but I just stood just let me just finish class and then so I'm sure we'll be here soon. So yes, we are. So the first benefit, definitely, like obviously when we talk about health, you have like a lot of health benefits when you take organic food. Because it's free from like preservatives and it has a lot of natural vitamins and minerals, which are actually good for your health, for your lifestyle. Like, I can't overemphasize that. So let's get on this journey together. Like, let's eat more of organic foods, because I know you and me want to live long. So if you want to live long, make sure you observe what you take in, because that's what's gonna reflect. That's why you find some people, they older than their age and stuff like that. We're eating a lot of synthetic things. Like, let's really stop that. Let's be sustainable. Okay, I think I'm over dramatic, but anyway, that was number one. Then number two being that we also preserve our cultural heritage, because most of these practices are actually culturally embedded, like in our different countries. So we actually preserve our culture, and we also preserve our recipes, because most of our food is tasty when it's cooked from organically grown plants or crops. So we also get to preserve our culture, and we also get to celebrate our different cuisines, our different foods. Like in Zambia, we have a lot of organic foods, like dishes. We have ifsashi, we have skanda, we have impwa, and a lot. We have a lot. Also, there are a lot of African countries. I remember this time I was having a conversation like with my aunt, and she was telling me about how she likes Tanzanian food. So for her, she was like, Tanzanian food has more like diversity. Like our food sometimes it's like a bit like limited. We have, yes, but there are actually some African countries, they have like a broader variety of food. So for her, like one of her favorite dishes are actually from the east, and specifically Tanzania. She finds them to be like, very tasty. Yeah. So our food is actually tasty. Like you don't have to put too much. You don't have to put too much for it to be tasty. It's just tasty. Also, when you look at a country like Zambia, you have a lot of local farmers, and these local farmers really rely on their farming, their commercial farming, to earn a living for themselves. So when we have a high demand of organic food, we are actually counteractively, simultaneously we are also kind of like helping them earn a living. At the same time, we are also preserving the ecology. You get it right? Yes. We are also helping the farmers earn a living and just support their business. So when we demand for more organic food, it's good for their business, and it's also good for the environment and sustainability, which is one of the topics around every field of study right now. When you go to engineering, medical, agricultural, management, everyone is preaching sustainability. So this is also sustainability by eating organically and not relying more on synthetic growing or synthetic consumption of food, because it's good for the environment and it's also good for yourself. Maybe if you don't care so much about the environment, I'm sure you care so much about yourself and how long you want to live. So as you know, there's a lot of climate change around the world, and this is due to a lot of things, a lot of factors have affected it, and this is like one of them as well. So even in Zambia, we're actually experiencing drought. This is the kind of drought we haven't experienced, and it's even affected our electricity generation. We are even experiencing a lot of load shedding, due to climate change. It hasn't been raining the whole of last year. There wasn't rain, and it's supposed to be raining right now. It rains, like our rainy season is from somewhere in November till April, but then last rainy season it didn't really rain. There was drought, and our main source of electricity is hydroelectric power, but then there hasn't been so much generation. We get it from the Kariba Dam, which we share with Zimbabwe. So anyway, this has been it. I hope I managed to make it as interesting as possible for you guys. If you liked this video and if you learned something, personally I did, If you did as well, don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share with everybody else that you want this information to reach to. From myself, it's a goodbye. Bye.